Otherworld's Monster Breeder Chapter 1. Chapter 1, Harem Legion Organization. Where is this place? When I open my eyes, an unrealistic scene can be seen. What I'm standing on is the top of a cloud? Looking at it, it's a white fluffy body that surrounds my bare feet. The soft, chilly touch of the cloud makes me realize that this world isn't a dream. Just some time ago, I was enjoying anime and amusing myself. Why am I in such a place? Welcome to heaven. The voice of a dignified woman is heard with the feeling of the divine kind. Turning towards the voice, there was a beautiful young girl with blonde hair and blue eyes you could mistake for goddess Sama from the world's myths. I wonder if it's some anime character cosplay? The girl was clad in fluttery clothing separated from the transient world. Excuse me. Where is this? Or perhaps I should say, who are you? Ito. Hey, weren't you listening to me? As I said before, this is heaven. You have been carefully selected by your examination results to go to a different world. Sticking out her large chest, the girl continues. This AD. And now, about your other question, I am pleased that you asked about that. My name is Aphrodite, the goddess of beauty. The navigating existence that will send you off to another world. How serious are you? Wait, I don't quite understand what is being said. Goddess? Different world? What is this girl saying? Well, it's an understandable reaction. A piece of junk like you would be confused, dying a dog's death and then being sent to a different world. Understanding this type of thing is faster by experiencing it instead of trying to explain. Try to pray for the status screen to open in your mind. While not satisfied in my mind, I decide to obey Aphrodite. At which point? Kaze Hayasuda. Occupation, Monster Tamer. Level 1. Vitality, 10. Physical Strength, 5. Magic Power, 10. Spiritual Power, 55. Divine Protection. Absolute Domination. Skill. Capsule Ball. Suddenly, the words appeared clearly in my consciousness. Reading the sentences carefully, it looks like a status screen from a game world. What? This is? In my mind, the status screen that appeared fits perfectly with no signs of disappearing. It is a strange feeling that cannot be experienced in the real world. At first I thought it to be suspicious, a self-proclaimed goddess saying different world, but I can feel a tinge of credibility. Phew. Monster Tamer? It's an occupation that it's doubtful it could even knock down a slime on its own. My condolences. Come again. Here's a good thing. I will you teach specially. The different world that you are being sent to, when you are born there is a job change to suit your aptitude. By the way, your profession of monster tamer is baggage weight no use at all. It's a useless profession that suits someone who was an anime watching NEET back on Earth. Annoying. This woman, Aphrodite, or something, it is without doubt that if she closed her mouth she would be a peerless beauty, but her various behaviors are a shame. And I am not a NEET. While it's true I play games every day, it can be seen that I am still a student actively attending high school. Alright. Let's reorganize the current situation. Coming here, the feeling of reality has finally emerged. Apparently, the place where I am standing is really heaven. Aphrodite seems to be here with the intention of coming to send me to a different world. I have no idea how it became like this realistic unfavorable development. It seems as though the possibility of a shocking encounter is low. By the way, it's written in my status screen, what is this capsule ball? Capsule ball grade G active. By throwing and hitting the of a monster, there is a chance of the enslavement skill occurring. Once the enslavement has been activated, the monster can no longer cause harm to the master. Acquisition conditions. Monster Tamer level 1 or more. The moment after I thought about it, a new sentence emerged on the status screen. It seems that questioning is a trigger for the status screen to show the effects of skill. When I pray for in my mind, a translucent sphere the size of a baseball is created. The design reminds me of the nostalgic Gachapon capsules from my childhood. Capsule ball is one of the basic skills of a monster tamer. When hit by a thrown ball, there's a chance for a monster to be enslaved. I wonder. Knowing so, I want to do various experiments. She brought me to a place I don't understand where it is, and abused me. I decide to throw the capsule ball at Aphrodite to serve as my revenge. Yes. TL, hi. Aphrodite lets out a small cry as I throw a capsule ball. Although I threw it quite slowly, the capsule ball superbly hit Aphrodite's body. Ouch. Wait just a minute. What did you do? However you put it, as I'm not a monster, there is no meaning in throwing the capsule ball which can only capture monsters at me. Immediately following that, something strange happened. No, no. Wait. It's a lie? Why? The capsule ball that I threw suddenly emits a dazzling light and Aphrodite is sucked in. Result. Before she knows it, Aphrodite's body enters the small capsule ball. Korra. Let me out. This is blasphemy against God. TL, Korra oi, hey. Aphrodite randomly pulls out a pillow and begins to knock on the wall of the used capsule with a don-don sound. By the way, Aphrodite who is inside the ball has shrunk down to eraser size. I'd really love to, however. I don't know the method to get you out. You. Please. I'm begging you, take me out this instant. Aphrodite has teary eyes. Speaking honestly, I can't make heads or tails of the situation. TL, not a literal translation. When I thought I was suddenly called to heaven, I was told to go to a different world and was suddenly made into a monster tamer. However, with everything said and done, I can say this catchphrase. Kami-sama. Get. Enslaved monster data. Aphrodite. Encyclopedia no? Race, God. Grade? Level, 3620. Vitality, 29,778. Physical strength, 19,822. Magic power 68,810. Spiritual power, 38,240. Skills? Unknown. Otherworld's Monster Breeder. Chapter 2 The First Battle. Before I knew it, there were wide grassy plains which continue as far as the eye can see. I was skeptical, but seeing it with my own eyes, but somehow or another, it seems I truly have been summoned to another world. The evidence that this world is different from Earth lies in the different plants and the sun that lights up the sky, is blue. By the way, what should be done? If I reference knowledge from games, the first step should be to aim for the city. Due to my good fortune, I can see people moving to and fro along the road around me. If I were to follow this road, someday won't I reach a street where people live? It's a monster. When I walked along the path that was cleared momentarily, I discovered a less than 50 centimeters height green-muscled chibi. It seems it hasn't seen me from the other side. What should I do? Should I fight? Speaking of goblins, in game worlds they are monsters that appear quite early in the opening. It may be the most suitable opponent for a test battle. However, the occupation I gained upon being summoned to this world is Demon Tamer. I have a hunch it's different from the usual hitting from the front. If this was an online game, there would be a navigating tutorial that explains everything, but reality does not follow one's whims. TL, not literal. No. Wait. I have the clever idea of using the capsule ball. Soon after, a translucent ball is summoned into my palm. Ooh! As I thought, it is there. Looking carefully, the beautiful blonde Aphrodite's figure can be seen inside the capsule ball. Yo! It seems like we meet again. Phew! Aphrodite was blinking in surprise as she was sitting with her arms around her knees with an expression saying don't know what's what. TL, like this. Hey. You. What? What's with this? No. At that time I was bad. I didn't mean any ill will. Forgive me. Aphrodite is shaking as she grabs my collar while issuing sounds that do not become words. How should I put it, making noise in this place? Will be noticed by the monster on the other side. Ha? A monster. Aphrodite finally releases my clothes and directs her gaze over in the monster's direction. Monster. Ha. At best it's a goblin. At best. Is it possible that Aphrodite is incredibly strong, by any chance? It's only natural. Am I not a goddess? It is not possible for me to fall behind a monster. Oh. That's reassuring. In that case, to begin with, can you get rid of the goblin? It can't be helped. When it's finished, you'll hear various complaints. When Aphrodite faced towards the direction of the goblin *toko and started walking, she thrust her hand towards the sky in an exaggerated manner. Pitiful lamb! Receive the judgment of the original goddess of beauty, Aphrodite. God's breath. She speaks a cool signature phrase. However, from those words she spoke cheerfully. Far from God's breath, not even a soft breeze blows. Are ridiculous. God's breath. God's breath. Aphrodite continues to speak the skill name, but no change can be seen in the surroundings. On the contrary, due to the large noise, her shouts, it resulted in this place being suspected by the goblin. Sida. Help me! Help me! The goblin was attracted by the crying Aphrodite whose clothes were fluttering. This goddess really does not seem to be reliable for anything. Otherworld's monster breeder. Chapter 3 Absolute Control. In the end, Aphrodite failed to take care of the goblin, so I decided to do it. It does not seem to evolve to the level of the superior human being. As I made use of my superior constitution to plant a kick onto its head, the goblin did not move immediately. I do not think it can be defeated with one blow. The demon trainer occupation that is said to be the weakest, the feeling is weighing down my shoulders. You. Why must I go through such an experience? Aphrodite weakly falls toward the ground while becoming teary-eyed. Edo. Afro-san? Don't be discouraged. Who has an afro? As you can see, I'm smooth and silky. Oh you. Is that so? Opening her eyes wide, Aphrodite stands and face me. And that, she shows her hair towards me. I see. Shown in such proximity, I can see that her long hair is indeed smooth and silky. What's more, it smells good. By all means, if you want to call me by my abbreviation, I will allow you to call me D. It's better than reluctantly calling me Afro. I understand. So continuing the talk from earlier, why did you completely lose to that goblin? I don't really understand in detail, but aren't gods very strong? You. This. Aphrodite mumbles while averting her eyes. It seems the events from before are considerably embarrassing for her. I realized the reason during the time when I checked you and my status just now. Although I had forgotten, it seems like the ability to release the god's power is only limited to heaven. It's because I cannot use God's breath, which can cause all things in nature to turn to dust. You had used such a dangerous magic on the goblin opponent. I gave a Tsukumai to her as I checked the status terminal screen. Aphrodite. Race, God. Level, 3620. Vitality, 29,778. Physical strength, 429784. Magic power, 1868804. Spiritual power, 1338227. Skills? Unknown. It seems that a monster tamer can verify the status of an enslaved monster. Compared to the original status, aside from vitality the numerical values were falling across the board. I had tried reasoning about today's incident. There is a under your status divine protection? Ah. Certainly. It was like that. Capsule ball's impact is too strong that till now I am not worried about it. Absolute control grade details unknown. I opened the status terminal screen and as I confirm the wall of text under divine protection, some unusual text flowed up. Have you realized it? The monster tamer is unfavorable for its condition of only being able to control basic monsters is overruled by the divine protection absolute control. Nothing but basic demon race can be controlled rule has been overthrown. Wait. Any race can be contracted? For example, can a human being be contracted? Of course. It was even effective against me who is a god. I do not think a human being would be able to resist. Why in the world can I contract a human as a monster familiar? The ability that I obtain somehow or another is probably nothing but a bug in this world, I guess. Other Worlds Monster Breeder. Chapter 4. Returning to the original world? The highlight so far. I who was summoned to another world seem to have a ridiculous cheat ability. Just a moment, Sutta. What is your status? When I am at my wit's end, Aphrodite raises her voice in wonder. Kaze Hayasuda. Job, Monster Tamer. Level, 557556. Vitality, 252237. Physical Strength, 9590. Magic Power, 200190. Spiritual Power, 28982843. Skills. Capsule Ball, Appraisal Eye. When I open the status screen, my status had risen like crazy. How? I suddenly increased in levels by a lot. Are goblins actually in existence that give a lot of experience? That shouldn't be. If such a monster pops out nowhere, it will be scary. Well, what is it then? If just one goblin caused the increase in levels by 500, the levels would be inflate. If it's like that, only one thing comes to mind. If that's the case, then is it related to the events in heaven? Immediately following my words, Aphrodite clasps her hands together, making a clapping sound as if to agree. That's it. When I was successfully enslaved, you were awarded with a huge amount of experience, so your level has risen. Well, receiving experience points from the goddess of beauty, that much is to be expected, yo. Aphrodite, with a proud expression, puffs out her large chest. Why are you making such an unpleasant face here? Appraisal Eye Class B active. The skill which ascertains items and the abilities of organisms that exist in Adelheid. Acquisition condition. Spiritual power of more than 2000. I've learned that contracting with Aphrodite has brought about a large amount of experience, it seems. I was late to notice it, but that new skill Appraisal Eyes has been added to my status. Besides spiritual power, I feel the others are crap for my level. It's inevitable, isn't it? The reason that Monster Tamer is called the weakest job is due to its low stats, it appears. But isn't it fortunate that Siddha's level rose? Fortune in misfortune. Perhaps there's a chance to return to the original world earlier than expected. What do you mean? Era? Did I not say? You were summoned here as the hero to save Adelheid? Therefore you can't return to the original world until you rescue mankind from the Demon King, Mu, who is predicted to revive in this world. You were sent off to Adelheid with such a rule. Hearing such a thing for the first time is too much. It would generally be said before you send someone to the other world. I want to make sure. The Demon King is not yet in this world, no. Well. It's said that the revival is only a matter of time. Is it approximately 5 years ago, I wonder? In preparation for the Demon King's revival, the gods send in a hero from another earth. How extraordinary! That besides me, there were other earthlings summoned elsewhere. Still, subjugation of the Demon King. Though it's a standard RPG development, I'm reluctant. Otherworld's Monster Breeder. Chapter 5. Otherworld's Harem Plan. Although, I have a single doubt. For example, in the event that I defeat the Demon King and return to Earth, will my abilities as a monster tamer disappear? Ito. In that situation, the ability should be taken over. It's impossible for the ability obtained to be taken away, even for a god like me. Then, I am able to take the monsters from Capsule Ball back with me to Earth. Well, such a thing is possible. But I believe that in order not to let you abuse your powers, we gods will observe at fixed intervals. I, after receiving the words from Aphrodite, make one big decision from the depths of my heart. Yosh. It's decided. What's decided? The aim. The aim for living in this other world has been decided. I see. An admirable intention. It's the determination to defeat the Demon King immediately, isn't it? No. It's different. Hey. Per. Perhaps you are the type who thinks about not wanting to go back to your original world? No. Of course I love Japan's anime and games and I plan to return to Earth. Then what is it? Did you not hear what I just said? There is no other way to return to your original world besides defeating the Demon King. Due to Aphrodite hounding at me, I reluctantly explain it. Listen. As I will only explain it once, listen well, okay? My goal is to use this ability in order to take a beautiful girl from this other world back to Earth. Yes. Hearing my idea, Aphrodite has an extra large question mark floating above her head. According to Aphrodite, it seems that even after returning to Earth, my ability as a monster tamer will not disappear. If that's the case, getting a beautiful girl in the capsule ball, it's probably possible to take them back to Earth. I say. I'm serious. Building a harem in another world is a man's irreplaceable romance. However, I have no intention of staying in a world with neither air conditioning or junk food for a long time. I'll defeat the Demon King. However, that's after building my ideal harem in the different world. I'm understanding your meaning less and less. Such a thing cannot be permitted ethically. Primarily, I who is a god, will not stay silent. Isn't it good? What? You can't return to heaven until the Demon King is defeated? Because, until I've built the best harem in the world, I don't intend to defeat the Demon King. Tsu. Realizing the meaning of my words, Aphrodite has a look of astonishment. Aphrodite's status certainly may be strong in the heavens, but in this world there's a limiter and she is weakened. Speaking of which, whether she will go back to heaven or not, as for now, she is completely taking part in my activities. Does D want to return to heaven? If so, don't you want to cooperate with my plan? Don't be an idiot. For me who is a god, it's impossible to help with such a vulgar plan. Is that so? Perhaps you'll remain in this world your whole life. You'll be fine. When Aphrodite thought quietly for a while, a refreshing smile surfaced on her face as if it was unbounded before long. It can't be helped. Although I'm unwilling. I'll cooperate with Siddha to make a harem. Alrighty. I thought you'd say so. When I offered my hand, Aphrodite accepted. If there are abandoned gods in this world, there will also be gods waiting to be picked up. Suddenly getting summoned into the other world, I whose path has closed in an instant open up into a straight bright future. In this way, I and Kami-sama come together for the other world's harem plan.